question everyone's asking right now is whether Governor RN Ravi was within his powers or could actually go ahead and dismiss a minister in this manner, keeping in mind the circumstances, keeping in mind that he is someone who faces very serious corruption allegations. I'm joined now on 6 p.m. Prime by Ms. Kiran Bedi, former Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, so someone who's been in this situation, someone who knows the protocol and the rules that govern the role of a governor. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us here on India Today. First of all, I want your reaction on Governor Ravi's action of going ahead and dismissing a minister, and this without consulting the Chief Minister, without the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers.
Well, we have enough of legal judgments on this, what is the meaning of aid and advice of the Chief Minister. But the question is, let's turn this debate a little around and say what has compelled the governor to take this action, knowing very well that the aid and advice is important. What has compelled him? Under what circumstances is he doing it? What is the problem with dealing with public servants? By the way, elected representatives are also public officials.
Sure.
But in this country, we have two sets of systems in dealing with these kind of criminal irregularities. Look at the public official. He is bound under the Civil Services Code. And if a public official from the services like this, for instance, person like me, I'm an appointed person, and if I commit something like this and I'm arrested and I'm even in judicial custody, gone in, what would happen to me? I'm also public official, I'm also public servant. The elected representative was also public servant by definition. But the treatment meted to the irregularities and criminal activities of the two are different. There are two sets. So let's turn this debate a little around. What has compelled, under what circumstances has the governor done it? The fact is, governor has done it, and I think the legal courts will decide now that the Attorney General will come back to him whether he could do it or he couldn't. And if he does it, then the courts of law will judge it whether what he did was right or wrong. Did he exercise his discretion? But in this case, let's turn it around, as I said. What has compelled the governor to do it? To my mind, the problem lies in the way we are dealing with public officials. We've created two sets of public officials, while the definition of public official is almost the same, because here are those people serving the public. One is appointed, the other is elected. One is temporary, the other is almost permanent unless he's dismissed. The second is elected, but every 5 years he goes back to the people to be re-elected and win their trust. Indian Penal Code, CRPC, Evidence Act, Corruption Act, all apply to a term called public servant.
No.
Whereas he too is a public servant because he's meeting the same cause. But if he's violating the very oath of office, which was to uphold the integrity of the Constitution and integrity in behavior, I think what has happened, to my mind, what has compelled the governor to do this is morality and ethics. And the law will decide, law will come. But I think the morality and ethics. Why? Because here was a person who has been accused of severe criminal irregularities. And he's still in the government. He continues to be in the government. Will this happen to an appointed public official? No. He would have been suspended minimum.
Fair point.
Here, this man is not even suspended. And he continues to be part of the government. And that the Chief Minister has not taken any action against him. Not taken it. So when he also is not taking any action, I want to ask a question. Who does? Who deals with? You might say, ma'am, he won't get re-elected. 5 years is a long time. Will you give 5 years to a public servant who's appointed? Will you give? Why does this country of ours, and by the way, the Constitution actually is making this, as actually the Indian Constitution has not included elected representative in the definition of the public servant. And I think that's where we went probably wrong.